Madam?
Oh, Martin, thank you. Oh, I am so glad to see you, Detective, and at such a late hour. I am so sorry to call you, but...
Now, Mrs. Carter, it's really... Don't worry. I'm up late most nights anyway, pondering the mysteries of human existence.
What is that?
I'm up late anyway. Call me a night owl. Woo! When I was up late.
Yes.
But what seems to be the matter, Mrs. Carter?
Oh, it's my husband, Albert. We were having a nightcap, like we do every night, when suddenly
Aha! So it seems we have a case of a missing person.
Oh, and I don't know that missing is the proper term.
No, that's generally what we call it when we don't know where someone has gone to.
No, but he's not missing so much as he's
Exploded.
vanished very suddenly and in a most peculiar manner.
I see. Now, what was it that you saw exactly when your husband suddenly was not there?
Yes. Well, Albie and I, that's my husband, Albie. We were his name was Albie, but I called him Albie. I was the only one here at home, that mind you. I don't think he liked the nickname very much, but I've been using it before he started courting me as a way to sort of tease him, you see, and well, I got his attention. So I never really called him anything else. And then
Yes, Mrs. Carter, this is quite an adorable story, but I am really more interested in what happened between you and Albie here tonight.
well, we were having a nightcap. Martin had brought them to us as he has every night for the past 27 years. Now, I sat here reading a book by the fireplace, and Albie sat over there reading the events in today's newspaper. And I had remarked, well, we're getting cold out in the evenings now. And he said, yes, dear, I think there will be a cold soon. And we both went back to reading. And then I heard a small pop, like a cat that the children play with, and I said, Albie, I think you better check to see if the chestnut boys have gotten into the garden again. And I waited for an answer. But he didn't answer, and when I looked up, he wasn't there.
That is strange. Mrs. Carter, do you mind if I take a look around the room?
Oh, certainly, Detective. Take as long as you like.
Hey, guys! What was that?
Martin, would you bring him in here, please?
Certainly, madam.
And who exactly is him, might I ask?
My father. He's a former military colonel, but with age, as will happen, he is a little, wrong in the head. Yes. He does have a room upstairs where we can keep track of him, but sometimes he wanders downstairs.
No, I don't want a dead goat coat with swampy British tea. Tastes like muddy water. Can't leave a little piece of quiet around here. Should have never left him over.
Oh, Father, Cicely is good.
The colonel, madam.
Yes, Martin, thank you, we know.
Mrs. Carter, I believe I may have guessed what happened to your husband.
Oh, thank goodness, Detective! I was so hoping you could help us. Please tell us what happened.
Based on your observations, it seemed like your husband had vanished and exploded. My best guess is that Mr. Cardew, rest his soul, spontaneously combusted.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I believe what we have here is an extremely rare case of spontaneous human combustion.
That is what I thought you said.
Dagnabbit, Colonel, what did I tell you? These Brits ain't nothing but a sack of pigs for brains.
Daddy, please.
Oh, go please yourself. Oh, no, wait. You already did that when you married Mr. Hoity-Toity Pants and dragged me across the Atlantic to this hellhole filled with tea and crumpets.
Daddy, that is enough.
Damn right that's enough. Enough of the sorry good for nothing.
Daddy!
Well, sir, I take it from your speech that you don't put much faith in my theory.
No, is that what you take, do you?
It
me tell you a thing or two, Sonny. I was hunting Yankee Turks just before you were born. I was a hero. I fought men with my bare hands. Well, they tried to give me a gun, but I told them, guns are for wusses. You let me at the enemy. I'll tear them apart myself. And I did.
Well, you seem to be a very accomplished man.
Dang right I am. Done more in one lifetime than you'll ever do, you tea-sucking.
Daddy! Hush! Pardon me, detective, but I didn't think that spontaneous human combustion was a real thing. Because if it were, then that would be the
There, madam. May I pour you a cup of tea to calm your nerves, madam?
Yes, thank you, Martin, yes.
Well, unfortunately, Mrs. Cardew, this is the most reasonable explanation.
Hogwash!
Oh, I beg your pardon, Colonel.
You heard me, boy. I said your story's hogwash. Like you come in here with your hoity-toity British ways, trying to tell us some fairy tale science fiction story. I think it's hogwash.
Well, do you have a better explanation, sir?
I think it's all that blasted British tea they're always drinking. How that allow me? You done finally turned into a cup of tea.
I see.
Put that in your pipe and smoke.
You'll have to ignore my father, detective. He's Southern.
And dang proud of it, too.
It appears the colonel has left us prematurely, madam.
Daddy?
Well, now this is strange. One case of spontaneous combustion is rare enough, while two cases in the same place in the same night seems almost
Careless.
purposeful.
What is going on?
Now, Mrs. Cardew.
No, don't you now, Mrs. Cardew, me. Why are all the men in my life vanishing right in front of me?
Perhaps you would feel better if you took a seat, madam.
That's an excellent idea, Martin. Perhaps not the best choice of seat, Martin.
I am so sorry, madam.
I don't think I can take much more of this. I feel like at any moment I'm going to turn around and hear a poop and one of the two of you will be gone.
Now, Mrs. Cardew.
I suppose I'm not making the situation any easier.
Mrs. Cardew, these are not normal circumstances. I cannot imagine any woman being able to keep it together as well as you are, ma'am.
Oh, thank you, detective. Look, it does make me feel a little better.
Good. Now, let's just breathe deeply. Maybe take a seat in the right.
It appears Mrs. Cardew has left us, sir.
Oh, Mrs. Cardew. Yes, I can see that. I bloody well can. Oh, she's the third person gone missing from this exact room in a puff of smoke in the last 20 minutes.
Would you like a cup of tea, sir?
Oh, cup of tea. A cup of tea!
Well, if you prefer Folgers, I could brew up a cup for you, sir.
I don't want a cup of bloody anything. I just watched a woman disappear before my very eyes.
Suit yourself, sir.
You don't seem to be particularly ruffled by any of this, now are you, Martin?
In my line of work, you see rather a lot of things, sir.
Yes, I'm sure you have. Tell me, Marty, old boy, do you ever get tired of waiting on other people? Do you ever look around this house and wish that it was you sitting by the fireplace? Have you ever thought of what it would be like if the Cardews just suddenly vanished one day?
Will there be anything else I can do for you this evening, sir?
Yes, there is, Marty. You can tell me how you made Mr. Cardew, the Colonel, and Mrs. Cardew vanish quite suddenly and violently all in the same night.
If you were insinuating that I did something sinister, sir, I find that rather insulting, sir.
3 people disappear suddenly, and you find it insulting that I suspect the only survivor.
I just think you are jumping to conclusions, sir. You want a conclusion, Martin?
These 3 people had one thing in common. That thing was not a thing at all, but rather a person. And that person was their butler. Their butler. The one person who needs the access and the keys to go anywhere in the house at any time. The only person capable of plotting and carrying out a mass murder. Now tell me, what do you think about that murder?
Your coattail has caught fire, sir.
I beg your pardon?
Or your coattail. It is on fire.
Oh, what the bloody...
Well, I tried to tell him. That's just the way it goes sometimes. I suppose there's only one thing left to do.